Okay, so first things first. I'm not going to appear on camera because I'm disgusting right now, but I'm not really, qualified to design products. In fact, I didn't even finish high school. But if that should tell you anything, that should tell you that the fact that it's me that's noticing this stuff and how to fix it, it can really tell you how easy it is, how obvious it is, and why it's so ridiculous that they didn't do it. First, let's start simple. This light right here. Now, why would this have some bullshit to it? It's a rechargeable thing. You press the button and the thing goes. Simple enough. How do you charge it? There's no way to, charge it that you can see. Well, what you actually do is take it out of its rubber thing, right? And of course, while not pressing the button and doing it one-handed, this is very difficult. But eventually, you will free it from its case. Now, why is this bullshit? Well, because you can't charge it in its case, because it has this USB port right there that the camera's not going to focus on. So, well, what do you do with that? That's a micro USB port, but you can't see that or its charging LED. Actually, you might be able to see the charging LED through the rubber casing, but come on. You definitely can't plug anything into that port when it's in its casing, so that's stupid. Why they couldn't have put a hole there? I don't know, and that's my complaint with this product. Maybe waterproofing, but that's no excuse. Yes, this is an iPod, and I just did make a DinkPod sound because this is a green iPod, which is quite ironic. This is the iPod 5th generation, the iPod Nano 5th generation, which is the only iPod Nano with a camera, speaker, and microphone built into the device. Now, why is that special? Well, this can shoot video, and it can only shoot video. It can't shoot pictures at all. It just won't take pictures. You have to take them out of your video, which is stupid because, well, I mean, they're going to be way lower quality because they're going to be compressed to hell and back, and we'll get back to that. But first, you should be able to take pictures. This does support like 640 by 480 photos, and it even takes 640 by 480 video, which is more intensive than just taking a picture at that resolution. So why they couldn't have added that, I don't know. They should have. And on the video quality side, the video quality is atrocious, although it's 480p, so it's like DVD kind of resolution, but that's not the problem. The problem is the bitrate. The bitrate is atrocious. They could have increased it. And why I think they didn't is this is an 8 gig model, and the most they came in was 16 gigs, but that's no excuse because like 5 years later, they released the first iPhone that could shoot 4K video at many times this bitrate, and it started at 16 gigs. So they should have increased the bitrate. That would have improved the video quality a lot and actually made it usable. The microphone isn't even that bad, contrary to popular belief. So if they had just doubled the bitrate, that camera would have actually been usable. This is an Xbox 360 wireless and networking adapter. This is the Wi-Fi module for the original Xbox 360, which came out in 2005, which, the internet was a great part of the Xbox ecosystem, but you couldn't use your wireless network unless you had one of these. Which is dumb, because this costed like $70 in 2005 and probably until like 2009 or something when they built it in. I think even the 2007 model, the Elite model of Xbox 360, still didn't have Wi-Fi networking built into it. You still had to buy like a $60 adapter like this, which lobbed onto the back of your Xbox, took up space, and awkwardly clipped to the side that would break over time, and took up one of your USB ports. That's where that cable goes. Why they couldn't have built it in? It's a $300 game console. That's why. It was extremely cheap. They had to build it extremely cheap, and that's why this is so expensive on its own. Still, pretty stupid. My personal iPhone 12 Pro. I have a 256 gig model, which I bought for myself because I knew I would need that capacity for shooting video on it and stuff and storing a bunch of stuff on my phone, which you do nowadays, especially since this shoots 4K 60 video. But the 4K 60 video sucks, and it doesn't need to. And why is that such a problem? Well, it's because 4K 60 camcorders don't really exist. Every manufacturer has gotten rid of those and are transitioning to cameras like this, which this one thankfully doesn't overheat, which is why I have it. But most of the other camcorders that can shoot 4K 60 FPS video do. But this shoots H.264, which is an easier codec to handle with. This shoots H.265 at 4K 60, which is nuts, and it's really hard for computers other than Macs to work with, but it does it, and I guess it does a good enough job for most people, but not for me. They could have had an option to increase the bitrate. That's a very, very simple software level toggle. Had nothing to do with the hardware. At least I don't think so. They could have done, but they didn't. They could have made the camera better with just that one software fix. Also, on a side note, the telephoto lens, which is actually the one that's broken, thankfully, is actually the worst one in an iPhone. I don't know why they have it, because if you zoom in with the wide angle lens, which is the default one that iPhones have had since the beginning, it produces a better quality image than just the telephoto as is. So why they included the telephoto, I have no idea. What a stupid expense. My i9 2019 MacBook Pro 16-inch. One thing I have to say about this is it doesn't have an SD card slot, which means I can't edit these videos on this MacBook without an adapter that I have somewhere. It's not even down there, which it's supposed to be. It's very, very losable, and I never seem to find it when I need it. Also, both of these ports are taken up already, so I'd have to plug in the adapter on the other end, which using it on my lap is a pain in the ass, and can probably snap a cable if I'm not careful, which I've done actually before. This cable's on its last legs. Check that out. It's bent. So they could have made this design better by just putting an SD card in it, which is what they did in the newer models. And they don't have the excuse of this being too thin a device to put that in, because it's clearly not. Like, an iPhone could have a full-size SD card slot right here if it wanted to, or if they wanted to put that in there, but there would be no point in that. But they could have put it in a MacBook Pro. They should have. Why didn't they? Who the hell knows? Ugh. This is dollar store black pepper. I'm not kidding, I actually bought this at the dollar store with my girlfriend for $1.50, I think. It might have been a little bit less than that, but whatever. Yeah, this is dollar store pepper, and well, it's not really immediately obvious how to open it. You actually have to flip one of these up, which their tabs are like almost non-existent, and they are really stuck. Like, you would not be able to do this one-handed. You would have to have some pretty robust ass nails to get this open. I have to use like a spoon or something to get enough leverage on one of these, and still it takes me like 10 tries to get it open. I've been lucky enough to where I haven't spilled pepper everywhere, but that is a real concern. They should have put bigger tabs on these, and or not made the teeth in here that go into the holes in here that keeps it closed so insanely robust. That's dollar store, what can you expect? Alright, some GPUs. I know this is probably a complaint that not many people will have, because this probably doesn't happen to everyone, because everyone's computer is slightly different, it seems, but a lot of GPUs seem to have their ports aligned correct when you put it down on a table, but as soon as you install it in a system, somehow the ports end up upside down. I have no idea why this is, but it's that way in my current gaming PC with a 2070 Super, and in my old gaming PC I built in 2017 with a 1070 in it. And it would probably be the same with this card in the current rig that it's supposed to be in. It's a 13th Gen 99, that's why that's not in that system. Here's yet another thing I learned from Cathode Ray Dude. This is a Dell floppy drive, but it's not really a conventional floppy drive, is it? No, it's not even an external one. You would slot this into like a bay, because this is a specially made module for a laptop actually. You could put this in a bay and then take it out. If you want a CD-ROM drive, you have a module like this but with a CD-ROM drive in it, and you slot that into that same bay after you take this out with this button, which is really cool, and I love that. But what makes it special is that it is actually an external USB-ready floppy drive. No drivers, no nothing. It just plugs in and works. Theoretically, haven't actually tested this yet, but this should be a thing on every single one of these. And the fact that it's only on this one this long ago means everyone could have done this, but they didn't. They should have. Let's see, what else do I have to bitch about? Oh, that's where my measuring tape went. Oh, you know these things that Apple stopped shipping with iPhones? Apple put them back in. These are really useful to have for many different reasons, not just your iPhone. So the fact that you're not putting them in there to save the planet and just because most people probably already have them, that's not a good enough excuse. If you can't use your brand new phone, if you bought something for a grandparent, for example, they will expect to use the iPhone. You will expect them to be able to use the iPhone, and the fact that they can't is a detriment. Plus, those are just useful to have around for other purposes. This Dell laptop has speakers on the bottom. they should be on the top. Anyone should know that. Okay, so first I'd like to say I am not really at all... Okay, so first things first. But that might not have been great to have a fix for at the time. It wasn't just $1, it was like $1 and something. And that wasn't taxed, like they raised the prices, which is dumb, but inflation. So anyway,